Welcome back. Now, the Public Service Commission is concerned government is spending too much money on public servants on full pay suspensions. Now, this translates to lack of management of discipline in government. The PSC is working with the Public Service Administration Department to develop strategies to deal with the problem. National and provincial governments paid 131 million rand to over 300 employees on precautionary suspension in June of 2022. Let's discuss this now with Public Service Commission Chairperson Dr. Somadoda Fikeni. Doctor, good morning and thank you very much for your time. It's a new year. One would hope it comes with more vigor to tackle this age-old issue of prolonged disciplinary processes in the public services. What are some of the strategies being developed to deal with this issue once and for all?
Well, the first one is to get the information from the affected departments, and DPSA is assisting us with that. And we have expressed urgency of the moment. And also the nature of the problems that are causing these delays. And the next one is to find a way of issuing a deadline by when everyone suspended, if the disciplinary processes are not taking place, they are taken back to work or their matters are finalized, and going forward have a policy that will strictly apply the notion of saying within a period of 60 days, disciplinary process ought to have started, and within a reasonable time it ought to have been concluded.
Now, with the little data that you have at your disposal and just the preliminary investigations that you would have done, what have you found delays the finalization of these disciplinary processes? Because some are talking of there being legal processes that actually delay finalization.
A number of reasons. The first one are the weaknesses in the human resource units of departments. Once you have weaknesses there, every other thing that manages discipline, performance management, and many other issues become a problem. The second one might just be the collusion between those who are corrupt individuals within the system and trying to defer and avoid the finalization of disciplinary processes when they realize that it is not going to work in their favor. The other one, it's when people want to commit corruption, they find reasons to suspend people so that during their period of suspension, they quickly approve things which otherwise would have been resisted by the person who was suspended. So there's a myriad of reasons, some emanating from the departments themselves and their weaknesses, and the lack of consequence management, where managers ought to manage and not defer or kick can down the road.
So at no point is perhaps the aspect of taking matters to court delaying the finalization of some of those processes?
There are elements of that, but I don't think it is actually the largest component of this. It's just the lethargy within the system or the collusion within the system. Those which have been taken to courts are only a small fraction of these, but others is just a matter of not attending to the matter at all. In fact, one of the most shocking things which caused us to stand up and say we want to do something, besides also getting pressure from the members of parliament saying, PSC, do something about this. We've been raising these questions with departments for some time. Is the fact that it was discovered one employee had been on paid suspension for 12 years. And during that period, the person went to study a degree in law, went on to do articles, went on to do other things. And it is only when the person, in the sense of entitlement, had heard of some bonuses being paid, performance bonus, that the person showed up to say, don't forget me.
My goodness.
That is the level of recklessness and the misuse of public funds that we would want to work towards ending, because the country technically doesn't even have the funds, it's borrowing. And we cannot afford not to be efficient.
And these are the things that upset citizens, that here there's a double loss. There's money that's being paid consistently every month, but also if this person is innocent, they were supposed to be at work and servicing ordinary citizens because that's essentially what they were hired to do.
In fact, we should stop saying there is government money. This is taxpayers' money entrusted in the hands of government. So when government runs out of money, they raise these tariffs from the very same citizens. So when people see some of these things, they should report them, because the implications ultimately, it's when certain services are curtailed, when roads are not built, when taps do not have water, repairs are not done, and you end up with all kinds of problems. That is why fighting such corruption or reporting such maladministration should be everyone's business.
Now, just in closing, on the professionalization of the public service, it's something that now has been spoken about a bit more. We listened to the President's January 8th statement in his capacity as ANC. Now, he's spoken about the need to professionalize and have those in the public service understanding that they're not there to do ordinary citizens a favor. Do you think this type of spirit can be inculcated, that you are not doing citizens a favor, it is a must, you must serve them even with dignity?
There is no doubt that citizens and people-centeredness of public service in their orientation is key, because people are being paid to serve public servants. They are not there because they want to earn a salary or any other thing. Yes, that could be a byproduct. So that should be the spirit. But in the professionalizing of public service, that's where we've seen a correlationship in many countries, that once you have a professional public service, it is most likely going to be ethical. It is most likely going to provide efficient technical services. People will be employed on the basis of their competence, not on the basis of their loyalty, because the patronage networks of loyalty is what has brought us into this space where people are not taken into account or are not facing consequences of their actions because they belong to this group or that group.